you find them on these sort of...
Was that aimed at me directly?
Oh, and he's done it! Species number 3! Oh, McGlashan!
Oh, look at...
Holy moly, that's a good frog. And we've even got a fan squad.
Fantastic.
You know what? I don't even know what this one is. That's ridiculous. I don't want to tell you what it is. I just want the camera turned off. Early in the series, we found a few kings in Sydney Harbour, which we tagged to help Steph out with her research. But would you believe that this is just one of almost 600 species found in the harbour? So we decided to come back and explore one of Australia's most heavily fished waterways. I wasn't going to do it alone, so I dragged former Australian motorcycling champion Daryl Beattie out of the bar, along with Daily Telegraph journo Mal Holland, to sample Sydney Harbour. Hang on. Oh yeah. Look at that. Oh, look at that.
MCGlashan.
Do you know what? I think it's the first squid I've ever actually caught. I'm on the phone trying to find out where the squid are, and I did it. Not the biggest squid in the world, but to a kingy, that's candy, or a dewy. Anything up here in Sydney Harbour, it's all about catching these because you turn them into something bigger and better.
Al, I reckon this can be one of the most frustrating times catching bait.
You know what? The problem is that I am possibly the worst squid fisherman on earth, and you've got to have squid to catch it. If we can get little squid like that, you know, those little ones, they'll be perfect for the job. In the harbour, which has, you know, 500-600 species of fish recorded in here, you can literally catch anything from jewfish to kingies to snapper to flathead to even bizarre stuff like they've even had Tassie trumpeter up here and even, you know, spangled emperor and stuff. So it's this bizarre mix of fish that all join together, but you got to catch squid. Swing him in. Not only do we catch squid, but we also catch little cuttlefish. And you find them on these sort of...
Was that aimed at me directly?
Al.
He's got Mel. Have a look at Mel. Now, Mel, Sydney Harbour is the most fished, or most heavily fished waterway in the whole of New South Wales. But you wrote an article about it, and like for me it was fascinating that it's not just heavily fished, it's home to, what, almost 600 species of fish, more of the whole of Northern Europe.
At least 600 species of fish, and they expect to see or find more basically every year. It's an astonishing fishery.
And you know what one of them is? Squid. How's this? What is it with squid and me today?
That is a beautiful shot.
Creature. Oh. That's not funny. Oh, man. Oh, look at me. I'm covered in this stuff. Well, you're saying there's almost 600 species. I reckon today, now that we've got Daryl here, we should have an unofficial competition to see how many species we can catch in the harbour in a day to see whether we can match up to your article.
Sounds good to me.
Careful. So, does that count as another species? I suppose it does.
Yeah.
Yakkers?
I'll let you have that.
Yeah, but
As long as it catches, you know, a kingy or a dewy or...
hey, if it doesn't squirt ink on me, I'm happy. What have we got? So we've got calamari,
Yeah.
we've got cuttlefish,
Yeah.
and yakkers. Mate, we're on fire. Oh, and he's done it! Species number 3! Oh, McGlashan!
Oh, look.
Got it! Species number 3, I'm in the line.
It's racing.
Oh, mate, you've just another yakker, mate. This is the one we want. These things are... Look at that. I'm going to hold him fairly tight because he goes. The little slimy mackerel. That is kingy heaven. We'll come back and fish through here, though, later on. fish plastics through, just jig them across the bottom. And because with all this bait here, and a lot of people forget that the bait grounds, you don't just catch bait, bigger fish are always there. So it's almost always worthwhile. Oh, there's a slimy there. Chucking a livey out when you're on your bait grounds, or even a plastic, or just chuck something out when you're on the bait grounds, because you'd be amazed what you can catch there. We've caught cobia, and would you believe we've even caught marlin on the bait grounds. And now it's time for fish facts, thanks to the Complete Angler. Pearl perch are found from northern New South Wales right into central Queensland, probably about as far north as Rockhampton. We don't know a lot about them, but we do know they grow to about 15, 18 years. Now, most fish we catch are in the 1 to 1.5 kilo range, but the record is a fish that was 7 kilos, and that was caught up in southern Queensland. Coming up after the break. Oh, moly, that's a good frog. And we've even got a fan squad.
Fantastic.
Destination profile for the tough and reliable Mitsubishi Triton. Sydney Harbour is one of the most heavily fished waterways in the country, and despite the pressure, it keeps producing. There are no marine park lockouts. Instead, the key to success was removing commercial netting. And today, we can now catch everything from big kings to the bizarre hairtail, as well as big flathead and even massive bull sharks. With such diverse fishing options, as well as endless protected bays, the harbour is a great place to fish for both expert and novice angler. In fact, you don't even need a boat to get into the action. Remember to reel in the tough and reliable turbo diesel Triton at your local Mitsubishi dealer today. Promised you lots of fish, guaranteed, I said. Just over there it is, guaranteed. Guaranteed. In fact, you could go to work. Ten's just there, we could drop you off, mate.
Yeah.
Your bosses won't be so appreciative
if
of
there's
that.
good fish here, you know where I'll be going at lunchtime.
Be sneaking down for the lunch break. Hopefully we can produce some. Look in here, you get bream and flatties, and there's actually a good little spot for dewies. Most importantly, you're out of the wind.
We've both gone different. What do you got, a blade?
Yep.
I'm running a plastic.
Yeah, plastic, and Mal's out the back there, quite achiever, and he's probably got a little bucktail that he's homemade. So we're covering all odds. Jesus, that was a... How's that for a bite? I don't know what it is.
I hope it's not another species.
There's some head shakes on there. That's a little Jew. Yeah, that or it's a bloody good brim. I told you I'd find a fish.
Oh. Quick, get them
Big
out, Mel.
brim.
Get them out.
I haven't had head shakes like that for a long time. Did you see that? I just, bang, I'm on. See the head shakes on it? See how that rod tip's got the...
So what do you think that is?
I think it's a little Jew. Either it's a Jew or it's a big flatty. Oh, yes! Shaking. Oh! Grab that net. Get the net for me. Look at that! Holy moly, that's a good frog. Now, I did remember the net today.
Just swim him into it, Al.
Oops. Round. Wait, let him turn. Oh, yes! Hold it up, hold it up. Oh, gee.
No, the blades on that. That's it.
That's it. Put it
Good
down.
one.
Look at that! That is the biggest flatty I've ever caught in Sydney Harbour.
Is it really?
And we've even got a fan squad. I've never caught one that big.
I think it's a high five, huh?
Mate, that's a bloody good flatty. Look at the size of it.
Fantastic. Al, I say, forget the kingies.
Mate, I've always wanted to catch a big flatty in Sydney Harbour. Look at the size of him. Stay still. You got to put the gloves on for these guys, for these big duskies. Have a look at that. Another species.
He's a species,
Another
Al.
Well, 4 is it?
Look at the size of it. I'll let him go, but I might put him in the tank for a little bit, and we'll go and let him go in the shallows. Give him a second or two to recover. Daryl, how many species you got, mate?
3, Al. It means I'm like, in my world, I'm a lap down.
I'm still in the pits.
Oh, and bloody ripper flathead. I'm going to get some photos of him later on and we'll let him go. And oh,
That deserves an umbrella girl, that does. Good
one, I reckon two. Woohoo! It's time for Fish Like the Pros with the Complete Angler, who've been helping people fish since 1967. When chasing flathead, always use lures that will sink right to the bottom. That's your strike zone. After the break. And you know what? I don't even know what this one is. Oh, that's ridiculous. Environmental tip, thanks to Club Marine, Australia's largest insurer of pleasure craft. If you're fishing Sydney Harbour, remember that it's advised that you don't eat the fish west of the harbour bridge due to high dioxin levels in the water. This is great fishing. You know, and that's what I suppose we wanted to highlight. You know, the plan was to go out the front. We end up coming inside because we can't fish out the front because it's too rough, but we can still fish. And we keep going back to Mel's article, you know, and the Telegraph there about how many species there are in here. And you know what? I don't even know what this one is. It's either another ripper flatty or it's maybe a little Jew, maybe a big tailor. You just don't know what you're going to get next. Wait till it again.
Yeah, you must have a little...
That can't be a flatty. It's got to be... No, what it is. Oh. That's ridiculous. That's not a bad kingy from up the river.
What are we on, 6 pound?
6 pound.
Look at that.
She's a little bit thin, the old girl, but
Beautiful.
that's got to go 70. That is a bloody ripper, mate. Well done.
Fish mark.
Lean right down and just hold him in the water if you can. Probably kick and go. Well, I'll tell you what, it's firing, it's slowed down a bit now, but I might just point out that I have 4. Someone else has, actually, Beattie has 4. Hey, you're a bit far behind on the 8 ball there, mate.
I'm a little bit, aren't I?
Yeah.
Hang on.
You are a tin ass. Oh, it's not fighting much, is it, mate?
It's not big.
Swing it around, let's have a look. And you end up with the live bait.
It's a new species though.
It is another species.
It is.
We probably should let my big fella go now. Now, you're a professional.
Beautiful.
All right, who wants to be my model in the shallows?
Go on, Daryl. It's your turn.
Come on, Daryl, you're in. I reckon it's a fish. Oh, it is too. Oh, it's a flounder. Mate, you weed. Now, while the seagulls are very unimpressed, have a look at that. Now, the amazing thing with flounders, would you believe it, that they start their life upright. And during their life, they actually turn, the eyes roll around, and they go flat. And then they spend all their life, it's an ambush hunter, so they sit on the bottom, obviously you can see with the camouflage, and then as soon as something comes past, bang, nail it. And then ooh, yep, gotcha. Species number, I don't know what it is, might be, oh, he's right there.
Number 5.
Oh, it's a monster.
Look at the response I get from these blokes.
You need a smaller boat for that one.
Hey, this is not about big fish, it's about species. Oh, that's just embarrassing. Baby Savvy, you know, we'll go to Melbourne and catch big ones. And in Sydney, I catch tiny ones, so just, oh. So where is it? Rush Cutters we're going to next, isn't it? Oh, there we go, come on. Anyone? Anyone?
No.
I can't hear you, it's windy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Can't see a thing.
I don't know what it is. It might be a little bream. It's not very big. We just dropped down. Oh, it's another species! I am going to the bottom of the bottom list. The Sergeant Baker. That is the smallest Sergeant Baker I've ever caught. What is this about big fish, small boats? I'm catching tiny fish out of a big boat at the moment.
You know what, El? Today that fish counts.
I can't believe this is the smallest Sergeant Baker I've ever caught. These things grow big. They're actually quite aggressive, and they're normally out the front in sort of, you know, the reefy sort of terrain. When I'm fishing the open water on this great country of ours, I always rely on Shimano to get the job done. They have a great range of rods, reels, accessories, lures, and even clothing for every fishing need. And now, the Complete Angler are giving you a chance to win $2,000 worth of Shimano gear just by shopping in store. All you have to do is head into your local Complete Angler store, buy any item, fill out the entry form, and you're a chance to win this awesome prize. I know Complete Angler and Shimano have never let me down, so why don't you find out for yourself? For full terms and conditions, go to completeangler.com.au. Coming up after the break. I don't want to tell you what it is. I just want that camera turned off. Well, we should update everyone on where we're at. Species, how many are you up to?
I think I'm my 6. We're 5.
we
so
are.
I'm
No, I
6.
think we're level pegging on 6. Aaron.
Wait,
Someone caught a sergeant, whatever you want to call it, if he's counted that as a,
I'm taking
catch.
everything.
say, 7.
I think it's the best received Sergeant Baker ever caught.
I'm ahead. 7 species. I think we've almost got 10. Gonna make it the dozen. Come on, you two, catch something. I'll give you a chance. I'll keep the lure out of the water. Too slow. Do you guys want to have a look at a species that you haven't seen? Oh God, it's tiny. But I will show you. Now, have a look at that. I might have to hold this really close to the camera to make it look marginally bigger. You guys taking note of how big my bream is? I can't even hold it up, it's so big. And now it shrinks down to real size. We've just had a few splashes up the front there. Now, Phil, one of my mates, had just given us the go-ahead that there are a couple up here. There should be lots of birds, but they're not, which makes it really hard. So it sounds like there's a few random fish. So what we're going to do is we're going to go upwind a little bit and then just drift back down. When you get this, you know, the wind's blowing a bit, sort of a random, hope for the best cast, you know, that you just keeping our eyes open. It's really important, keep that visual to see if you can see them. As soon as you see them blowing up or some birds and stuff like that, then you're onto it, you know. How's this for variety? What the hell have I got there? I've got a... I don't want to tell you what it is. I just want the camera turned off.
Oh, here we go.
Got a bit of weight.
Before you guys say anything, let me just point out, that is, oh look, it's got 2 spikes, not 1, but 2. That is variety. I think we have to finish off on the high note. Was either, well, actually, it could be 2. Does my leather jacket come out on number 1, or does it top out with the Sergeant Baker? Like, that's the question. I was pretty impressed with both captures.
Sergeant Baker.
Sergeant Baker.
Yeah.
The 3 tips we can help you catch more fish. First and foremost, in places like Sydney Harbour where you're chasing variety, keep moving, keep fishing different locations. Secondly, follow the tide, work with the tides. So wherever the tide is, you know, fish the top of the tide up the river and then run out back down the river. And finally, use light leaders, especially in clear water like this.